Welcome. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of If You Ain't Laughing, You Ain't Living podcast. I am your host, comedian Doc, and I am elated. I'm elated, man, tonight about this subject and the people who I got to share with me, man. I got some real bright brothers, educated fellas that know about a lot, and we're gonna let them share tonight with us about this topic. The topic we're gonna be talking about tonight. If y'all want to join me in, chime in. Tell somebody right now, hey, if you ain't laughing, you ain't living. Podcast is on, y'all. Chime in because it's gonna be a good one. Tonight we talking about the chapters of life. We talk about how life takes how it begins and the transition that it takes when you're trying to figure things out, and ultimately how some of it ends sometime. But we just want to share our perspective on and hopefully help someone that may be in a situation that's dealing with certain things uh, when it pertains to this subject. So tonight, without further delay, I have two gentlemen I'm going to introduce to you all. The first one, his name is Cam Kelly. We call him Cam. This is a fellow podcaster slash very good friend of mine. We've been knowing each other for an extremely long time. Good brother. He loves people. He loves helping people. He loves serving the community. And we're just elated to have him on to share his thoughts and his values on these topics. We're going to let him introduce himself the way he wants to. Cam, go ahead and let the people know.
Well, this is my second go round here at If You Ain't Laughing, You Ain't Living.
Yes, sir.
And I am pleased to be back. I am Cam, as y'all may like he just told you, but I like to go by postman at this day and time, right?
Yes, sir.
And probably when we get deep into the conversation, you'll be made aware of where that name even came from. Because I actually shared that title with two other fellas, and one of them happened to be on here with us tonight. But yes, I'm Cam. I am a serial entrepreneur, meaning that I am a multi-business owner and operator. You know what I'm saying? Today for me was my first day in school. I was a high school dropout. Shouldn't have been, but decisions and situations in life led to that for me that I put myself in. But today I was my first day of college, so I'm glad to be back in school, and I'm also glad to be back here with you guys.
Thank you, man. Listen, I'm glad to hear you, glad to have you again. And I know we're gonna continue to do this, man, because we the
Oh
chemistry,
yeah,
right?
oh
Postman. I'm gonna change it then. I'm it's gonna be postman. I like it. I like it. I like it. So our next gentleman that we're gonna let him. His name is Jacob. He go by Jacob. Jake. I've been knowing him so long. I'm gonna try my very best not to call him by what I call him by because this is our podcast. But his name is Jacob Ferguson. He is an educated businessman. He is an entrepreneur still today. Owns his own epoxy business. He's also a barber. He's a master barber. In fact, and if you all need to get your hair sliced up and diced up, he is the man to see. If you need to get your countertops, your floors, anything done with that epoxy, he a beast. Just want to put that out there. But I'll let him introduce himself. Jacob, go ahead and let the people know what we got.
Well, I just got to make one correction. You said we know a lot about a lot. I know a lot about a little.
Yes, sir.
I
okay.
I don't know everything, but I can touch on quite a few different subjects and areas. But
Yeah.
yeah, like he said, I've been a barber since I can remember. Uh, Postman was the one that I used to practice on when I was trying to practice and learn. But
Yes,
as a
sir.
craft, as a craft, I definitely feel I mastered. Epoxy is another one I would say that I have a skill in that I acquired and I'm good at it. I also do bail bonds, all
Mm.
around really. Uh, Almost whatever you need, you can call me. If I can't do it, I got a guy.
That's right.
Man, listen. I tell you what, the jack of all trades, master of none. That's me. So I love it, man, and I'm glad that the people get to know who you all are. Thanks for the correction, sir. It is what it is. You know a lot about a little. I like that. I know a lot about a lot about a little. I know some things I don't. But tonight we're gonna talk about what we know when it comes to turning the pages of life, gentlemen. Tonight we're gonna dive into the chapters of life, meaning that when we are born and we start our journey of life, because we all can agree that life is a journey. Like That's just what it is. When you come out the womb, you already in this class, you already on this journey, and you're gonna get molded, shaped up into some ways, and you're gonna pick up some characteristic traits. People gonna try to make you who they want you to be during this journey, and then you identify. There's a time that you come up on identifying who you want to be, and then
Mm-hmm.
God put it on my heart to. Let me stop. Let me stop. I need to apologize real quick. I didn't introduce myself besides just being a comedian. I am comedian Doc. I am your host. I am the creator of If You Ain't Laughing, You Ain't Living podcast. But I'm also a barber as well. I'm also a deputy sheriff. I'm also a husband and father. I'm a preacher as well. This podcast is a clean podcast for the listeners. It's a clean podcast where we dive into real life conversations with a sense of humor, like we have. We freely talk about everything with respect to everyone. This is not a vulgar podcast. This is not one where we're going to entertain anything that don't have positive vibes attached to it. So let me be clear about that. This is what we're about. If you ain't laughing, you ain't living podcast. I just want to put that little note in there before we continue on. So thank you for being here, fellas, and I thank you all for joining me. As I was saying about the journey, I know everyone has one. That's one thing that we can't avoid is our journey. You know, what we can do though, there'll come a time in our life when we can start picking picking our own paths. But in the beginning, that's the thing that concerns me a lot of times, fellas, is in the beginning, like we don't have no say so. In the very beginning, we don't. Somebody literally has say so on our journey and which direction that they think we should go. And I thought, like, man, I was thinking about like all the people out in the world right now that's doing things with their lives to this day, been doing it for many years that didn't really want to do it. You know, you got a lot of people that's lawyers that they didn't want to be a lawyer, but they whole family are lawyers. You know, they really want to go play basketball or play baseball or something, but they lawyers because they were a duplicate of the family business. They were coerced into being what everyone has in the family has been, and I think that's a problem. And I want to address that a little bit. I think that we as people who have the influence over other people should take time to take note, especially when they start growing up. You know, I get it. We taught how to walk, we taught how to talk, we taught how to speak, we taught how to behave, whether good or bad. These are some things we pick up. But then it's gonna come a time where we are responsible for our own space, our own actions, and what to do with our journey. So I just
Mm-hmm.
thought we open that up with that, man. I want to hear from y'all and what y'all think about that. You know, what do you think, Jacob, about when you coming into the to life, man, and you journeying and you start opening up your chapters of your book. You know, how important is the influence from your people that you know are your day ones, and does it really matter to you if you step out on your own and feelings getting hurt in the process? You know, how does that work for you?
Well, I know when you first start, now, of course, the people who brought us along and raised us up, we want to satisfy and please them. So sometimes we tend to take the journeys that they gave us or
Right.
take the path that they gave us. But I know for me, I always wanted something different. And you could say I definitely did go against the grain of what was expected of me. I didn't take the traditional route on none of the stuff that I did. I didn't follow in my father's footsteps and become an electrician. I blazed my own path, and I can say it's not an easy path, but it's a happy path.
I like that. I like that.
Mm.
Like he said, yeah, for y'all, for those who are listening, he just said something so profound. It's not an easy path, but he enjoyed it. You know, it's an enjoyable path when you write your own story. When you don't
Mm-hmm.
follow in the footsteps of the ones that raised you, so to speak. You know, very good, Jacob, man, to let us know that hey, when you choose your own path, there's gonna be some highs and some lows, but you stick to what you want to do, and it'll pay off in the end. Ken, what's your thoughts on that, Ken?
Hey, it's hard, right? It's very it's hard for an individual when the path already been laid for you, and you don't we don't say it in our communities or in our households, but it's almost like a form of dictatorship, right?
Yeah.
Because people that's providing for you are pretty much, they're going to tell you what to do now, and then to get even to an extent they're going to tell you what you're going to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get a lot of stigmas placed on you,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't want to let certain people down, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, the path that I took, right, it wasn't my path. It wasn't my path. The path that I'm on now, I had to create, but I'm late 30s, early 40s, now creating my path. But before that, it wasn't my path because I wanted to play football because I was good at it and I enjoyed it, right? But I knew I wasn't going to the league because I wasn't going to get no taller than 5'7". You know what I'm saying? So, me understanding that, everybody before me was drug dealers. I took that path. You know why? Because it seems like the path that more people that look like me, that came out my family, not the ones that outside in the streets, the ones that I'm looking at each and every day or hearing these stories of, this the route that they chose, right? And they were celebrated in my family.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're gonna celebrate and highlight these people because what they're able to provide and give to you, I want those same acknowledgments. So that's the path that I took. Now, it wasn't no blueprint that you going to prison several times and you're gonna be out your kid's life for many years
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna go through this and you're gonna go through that. That wasn't part of the story. You don't get that in the beginning, right?
Right.
All you doing now is just understanding this life and you want this lifestyle because it seems cool. And that's where I got caught up at, right?
Right.
I got caught up in the coolness. If I sell dope and I can sit on the corner all day, then all my partners, they in school. But like I told you the last time we had a conversation, I didn't understand it, but I lived a double life when I was a little kid because people that really know me didn't know me from being in the streets. So it was I'm dealing with egos or identity crisis. I was
Mm.
battling because I had to identify with two different people in one body around Jacob and Cedric and those guys. I can be Cameron. I can be Cam. I ain't. I didn't have to. It didn't. It didn't require all the hoorah and the hooping and the hollering and doing all this here and doing all that, the thugging and clubbing and drugging. I didn't have to be there around them, right? But when
Mm-hmm.
I'm not around them, I got to now make a instant transition. I got to transform immediately when I go around these streets because around here it requires me to be somebody else, right?
Yeah.
And to get back to the question, I did not understand that until I was sitting on a prison bunk and I had to ask myself, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? What are your desires? You done been what Lyman them wanted you to be. You done tried to be what Elevate them wanted you. You tried those things. That didn't work. You get bored with doing those things, but what do you want to do? And that's when I really understood who I was. That's when I began to identify, and it was okay just to be me.
Right.
Being here doesn't require me to be 3 and 4 different people.
Yeah.
So I stopped pleasing people, and that's what we get caught up at, man. We get caught up coming from where we coming from with being people pleasers. You
Yeah.
want to please your mama. You want to please your auntie. You want to please your uncles. You want to please your sisters. And you want to please all these people, but you ain't even happy. But you're doing it because we have been trained and programmed that this is what you're supposed to do. No, that ain't right. And only until a person can really understand who they are and where they want to be at, then they'll begin to live. Not until then will they even begin to live.
Man, listen. That is so powerful, man. Thank you for that, bro. You just dropped a jewel like a none other, man. I'm gonna tell you why. No, I'm serious, man. I'm gonna tell you why because you used a term that identity crisis,
Yeah.
right? Some years ago, man, God had spoke that same exact word into my spirit out of nowhere. Guys, I heard him. I heard that voice say the word identity crisis to me, right? And when I heard that, he began to show me the struggles I had when I was out in the world, all the different people and personalities that I had picked up and was trying to fill in those gaps with these other people characteristics, trying to figure out who I was supposed to be. So man, when I tell you that was confirmation, what you just said, because that's literally what's going on today. That's
Mm-hmm.
literally, man, part of the problem, man, of our young generation and even some of the older heads still, is the fact that we don't know who we're supposed to be. We don't know who we are. And
That's
the
right.
only way I think, the only way, man, you just said a mouthful. The only way I think that you get to know who you are is when you stop trying to be everybody else. When you stop looking at everybody and your eyes get big because that looks glorifying, that then I want that. That was my problem. Like I was like, I want some of that. Now the irony to that conversation, Jacob, is this: when you growing up, like people like me who I never had a mentor, I never had a father figure, right? I had Tina, my mama. I had those mama and daddy, and I ain't ashamed to say my mama. She ain't an educated woman. She from the streets. I'm from the street. So I
Mm-hmm.
picked up all that, right?
Hmm.
God had a plan for me these last 20 years or so. I've been how I've been in church. But before that, it was a ride. And it was a ride filled with confusion, misinterpretation, misunderstanding, because I still was trying to figure out who Doc's supposed to be, right? When I got
Mm-hmm.
into my element, and here's the thing, people that's listening, to the audience, when you identify who you're supposed to be, you will know. It'll hit you like a ton of bricks, man. That feeling, y'all fellas, y'all can back me up on this if you know. When that feeling hits you like this is my space, this where I'm supposed to be at, this who I'm supposed to be. When y'all get to that place, hold on to it. Don't let it go. That's who you are. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just, man, I got a little excited when you said that identity crisis, man, because I'm telling you, that was the word that came directly to me from God, and it helped me so much to help other people know y'all going through the same stuff I was going through. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
God ain't create no drug dealer. That ain't what He did. You know what I
Mm-mm.
mean? God ain't create no pimp. That ain't what He
Mm-mm.
did. But we was searching, trying to find and figure out. We looking at all these other spirits and other people doing these things, and what we had no choice but to glorify this stuff, and it looked good, like you said, it looked cool. I want some of that. That's how I was. I
Mm-hmm.
want I want some of that. I want that feeling that they happy all the time. Look like I didn't know what was deep inside, what was going on the inside, but on the outside it looked good. So man,
Mm-hmm.
thank you for sharing that, man. And Jacob, man, I tell you,
What
to, to
to kind of bounce off of what you said about not having a mentor, well, a father figure in the home.
hmm
Um, I almost want to say it's a little harder when you have that father figure and you choose your own path, because a lot of fathers want you to follow their footsteps because they feel like they made the path easier for you.
hmm
I could have easily went to FNL as a high school graduate and became an electrician and been 20 plus years in now.
yeah,
My mama asked me, did I want to make 100,000 a year working at FPNL? I said, I want to be happy.
mm, wow,
That would have made me happy. I
yeah,
don't think I would have been as happy doing that career as I am with signing myself to myself.
yeah,
You can pretty much say I bet on me all of these years.
And you know what too, Jacob, I like how you just said that, right? Because me being there, right, coming through, for the people that don't know, me and Jacob relationship go like decades back. But I just had this conversation this morning with Curtis, and I say I met a lot of guys who say they do things because they didn't have father figures. I say that don't apply to me. Even though my daddy wasn't directly in the house at all times, I had a lot of males in my life that poured into me,
hmm
right?
hmm
And I still chose to do whatever I wanted to do. I can still remember when the first time I went and sat in that chair inside that shed at Miss Sabrina house, and Jacob cut my hair. And this is why he cut my hair. He say, "Bro, I'm gonna be a barber." And our bond was so close. I say, "Well, if you gonna be a barber, you might as well start cutting my hair then." And I sat there, didn't care how much training. We didn't have YouTube. We wasn't reading books and all this stuff here. It was about me trusting in my partner at that
Yeah.
time. And whether he was gonna mess me up or not, it's a haircut. The hair gonna grow back. And he started telling me, "I got you. Both sit down, boy. I got you." And guess what? I sat down, and he cut my hair. And from that day on, that's who cut my hair once a week. And I said that to say this, right? It used to be times where Mr. J would come out there in the shed and Zed be cutting hair, and he'll run everybody out the yard. You know what I'm saying? I remember those days as well, and that goes back to what he just said. It's so much harder when you do have a present father. Yeah, I enjoy this feeling and knowing that this guy is here, but he has already created a path that he thinks that I'm supposed to take. So when I don't take that, now it's gonna be a little friction here, right? It's gonna be a little because I don't work so hard for you to follow up behind this because I done paved the way,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it has to be better communication when it comes to our community
Right.
because we have been taught you don't talk back, you don't question certain things. These are things we done been told all our life, and you try to figure out, well, how did you get the answer? How do how do you how do you express yourself? Right. So a lot of our we have a lot of bottled up emotions that leads to identity crisis
Yep.
because now I don't even know how to feel.
Yep.
I don't even know if I'm supposed to feel because I've been told you're not supposed to do this or you are supposed to do that. And I just wanted to add that to what Jacob was saying.
No, you know what, and we needed that. We need to hear that, just like I need to hear Jacob say that. That was good stuff, man. Because you got to experience that. You know what I mean, and to know how I feel to say no, I choose my own path, even though the foundation was set. Because I know your dad as well. He kind of like a daddy to me too. You know what I mean? Because I came in at 17. I'm in my 50s now, and still know
Mm-hmm.
him. So I understand how he came up. I knew how he came up. You know what I mean? That was good to tell the young people that's listening that has a two-parent household that, hey, it's a way that you could tell them now. I mean, you ain't got to go off the rails with it, but it's a way that you can make your decision for yourself when you get that opportunity to say, no, Dad, I'm gonna try this. And a real father gonna support that. You know what I mean? And the reason I put emphasis on real father because I take heart in a different way when you got people forcing people to do other things. I take heart because of my experience and my journey. Uh, I have a son. I have a 27, almost 28-year-old son. I never ever talked to him about law enforcement, I know, try to force it on him. I think I asked him once or twice, hey, man, you want to be a police? Man, you want to? And he's like, nah, Dad. I'm like, all right. And that was it. With no feelings involved, no me getting upset with him. Hey, choose your own path, man. Whatever you do, just when you like it, stick with it. That was my advice to him still to this day. So I appreciate when parents let children start learning and being who they want to be. You know what I mean? So that's good
But
stuff.
to
And,
to
and
add, to add, to add to that, Jermaine, it's okay as a parent, I believe, to let your kids pick their own paths, but they have to pick a path.
they had
We
to pick a
can't
path. Yes,
we
sir.
can't we can't sit idle. You got to pick a path.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you pick a
yeah.
path, you got to stick with it, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. You got to see it
I,
through.
yeah, that's it. I feel like if they do, especially if they're under my direction, if they're under my roof, so to speak, and I'm still providing, and they start choosing their own way, I'm gonna support them. But one thing you're not gonna do is start something and then not finish it because you made a choice. You came and talked to me like a young man. I respect your space as you growing up, but you got to finish. That's what I instill in you. Don't start nothing you won't finish, even if that ain't the path that you choose ultimately. But at least you got a finish line that you reached. You know what I'm saying? So that's good stuff. We want to transition into two things. First of all, Jacob, don't call me by my birth name. I got warrants, bro. My name. If you ain't laughing, you ain't living. This is Doc. I'm the host. They don't even know who Jermaine is. He called my birthday. Yeah, we go. Just saying. I'm gonna tell a little. I'm gonna tell a little story too, y'all, for the listeners. So my boy Jacob, I remember when he had a job, y'all. This is a true story. He had a job, and this is how I knew he was gonna be who he is today. Really, I literally been like his big brother on side of his big brother for years. He'll tell you the truth. That's the truth. So I seen him blossom to the man he is today. I can't say it enough, and I'm not gaslighting because he on the phone on his podcast. I'm so proud of him from a big brother perspective slash best friend slash uncle, whatever I can be. I'm proud of him because I remember when he came out in his own. He literally been around me since he was 8. So I done watched this young man grow all through his years of school, make his decisions, fall sometime, get back up, go to the next, and I seen him complete everything that he said he was gonna do. It's some things I didn't complete that I said I was gonna do, but he did. But I remember one time he came to me. He said, "Hey man, check this out." He said, "What you think about it?" He said, "Man, toss the coin, right?" I had a quarter. He said, "If you toss it, if it ain't no heads, I'm gonna quit my job." Right? He had a job. He was working with juveniles, and this is a true story, y'all. And I'm not encouraging this to you listeners, but watch this. There's a little positive note you can get out of it. So he said, if it ain't no heads, I quit. If it's on tails, I'll go back. I tossed that quarter up and it hit the ground. We looked, it was on heads. He quit. He quit the job. I can't make this stuff up. He never looked back. Now watch this. He never looked back. I never heard him say, "Man, I regret that. I didn't." What I did see him do was get on a grind so strong and so hard to make up for what he knew he just threw away. That I was like, wow. I thought it was crazy, but
Remember, I
at
told you
least he,
I went to school to be a barber. I'm gonna
yep.
work. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make it work.
That's what he said. That's what he said, and he did. So for the listeners out there, don't toss no coins if you ain't ready to put in the work to make it up. Don't toss no coins and leave your employment that you have until you got your mind made up. This is what I'm gonna do, and you're gonna put whatever you got to go through to successfully complete it. Do that. But that's something he did, and I never forget that, man. I was like, wow, I never did that,
Definitely,
And
if you're gonna do it, come through with a plan. I didn't have a plan. I just knew I could make it work. I didn't
that's
know how I
right.
could make it work, but I knew I could make it work.
That's right. So making things work, turning pages of life, right? Uh, uh, and that's the good key right there, making it work. Cam, Jacob, man, we start figuring out who we are, right? We in that space now where I finally know my space. I know what I love to do, and I don't mind checking on other stuff and tapping into other spaces while I got a goal in this area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Multi. Nowadays everybody want multiple streams of income, which is I think is great. Sometimes people in my generation, because I'm older than y'all, we had a one way mindset. We had to work, draw a retirement, and live happily ever after. Right? That was our generation, and we had a hustle. We had a side hustle, but it wasn't as prevalent as it is to incorporate that in a great life. Meaning, if I had a side job washing cars, it was just a side job to put more food on the table, as opposed to me getting that extra money and investing into something or being able to put it on a college fund because we didn't think like that in my generation, right? So now today's everybody's pretty much got tapping into something extra to get more and it's pretty hard. I had to survive now anyway. It's like rough and everything's high. So we in survival mode. But when you got your mindset on a goal, this is what you're doing, Ken. Like you started class tonight. Congratulations to you too, man, on your new journey in class, man. Kudos,
Appreciate that.
right?
Yeah,
Appreciate
that's
that,
big.
man.
Yes, sir, man. You're
That's
never
a
too
big
old,
step.
man. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
that's great. Congratulations, brother. And I know you're gonna see it through. So we rooting for you.
Oh, definitely.
You
Definitely.
you start a new journey. You
Yeah.
still got to provide for yourself, so you still work,
Got to go
right?
to work.
Got to go to work, and then something else might come to mind. And you podcasting still, you working,
Yeah.
right? How do we transition, y'all? And this for the listeners because I know how to do it, but how do we transition from one goal to the next because I believe that God can do anything He want to do with us if we let Him. I feel like God, if He gives you an idea about something, because the Bible declares, eyes haven't seen and ears haven't heard, and it hasn't entered in the hearts of men the thing that God has for those who love Him. That verse means that God can put an idea only in you. He only gave it to Cam. He only gave it to Jake, right? He wants y'all to carry that and bring that, introduce that to the world. But you already locked in on what you finna do now, right? How do
Mm-hmm.
you turn the page and put a little bit of you into this and a little bit of you into that and a little bit of you into that? Or do you say, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off and put it all on this. I'm gonna focus on this because I want to reap the benefit of this. How do you transition from that, man? Because before you answer, for me, my wife told me years ago, because I always had my hands in something. We lived in Orlando, man. I was working in a prison. Uh, I was cutting hair on the side. I was selling CDs in the street. I was hustling, right? All while taking care of family, being a new husband. It was rough trying to figure, again, identity crisis, trying to figure me out. But my wife told me one time something that stuck with me, and that was many years. She told me, she stopped me, literally stopped me. She said, "Hey, look, man," because I came to, I saw real estate, went to real estate school, did all that. And she said, "Listen, man, stop." She said, "I'll support you, but you got to do one thing and accomplish that and then go to the next." And when she told me that, I ain't gonna lie, I got a little offended at first. I was in my feelings, but that was some of the best advice I ever heard in my life. And I
Mm-hmm.
live by that today. And I thank God for my wife for telling me that, because if she hadn't gave me that little nugget of how to navigate my way through these different processes, these goals and ambitions that we have, the creativity of mind, the creative mindset that I had, I would have never accomplished nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So somebody, one of y'all, Cam, go ahead and tell the people, how do you do that, man? How you turn the pages and complete stuff and move forward?
Um, this is go, and this is for our viewers and our listeners, right? You got to have a great mindset. Number one,
Mm, okay.
because turning the page may just be the most difficult thing that you're gonna do in your life, because that's gonna require you to let things go.
Mm, mm.
And we as humans develop emotional attachments to things in our life that we think is for us, or
Facts.
things that we think that we may need. And that's
Facts.
people, places, or things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when we're talking about turning this page, that means that you are going to trust God and move forward.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say trust God and move forward, that don't mean just blindly just say, you know what, I ain't doing this no more. I'm just gonna try this. I'm gonna sit over here and God say be patient. He gonna bring something to me. No, I ain't talking about that.
Right,
I
right.
ain't I ain't talking about that. But I'm talking about when He placed something on your heart, and you gonna know when it's time to move. You move.
Mm-hmm.
You move, and anything that has not happened wasn't supposed to happen,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Because, and this is why I say this, and I can testify to this because it happened with me. When it was time, my first business, and this sounds so crazy, and I was just thinking back, my first business idea came when me and Jacob was in the 8th grade, right? And it wasn't that we was physically about to do no business, but we had business cards made. Me, him, and Cedric. We got business cards made. Postman Zach, Postman Cam, Postman Saint. That's where
Oh,
this whole postman thing come from. That's where
got you.
it was created in the summer of our 8th grade summer going into high school. But no, 7th grade going into the 8th grade, we had business cards made, and we well, I want to say we reinvented the wheel, right? This is the
Mm-hmm.
first time we reinvented the wheel. Instead of going up to a girl and asking for her phone number, you catch her at the locker, you pass her your card, and keep walking. See, we was on some next level stuff already and didn't even understand it, right? But the thing was, now when we get together, well, how many cards you gave? How many cards you gave? How many cards you gave? Right? But that was a business model that we didn't
it,
even understand what we were doing.
it really was.
Now when it comes to turning the page, and this is for people that's there's nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
But what is wrong with working a 9 to 5 is what we have been told. You go to work, you work hard, you get a check, you take care of your family, you do this till you can't do it no more. Then you draw a retirement or a social security and you live off of that. Well, are you happy?
Mm.
So when we talk about turning pages, when you get to letting things go, you get to releasing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You getting this weight up off you, and you walking into a new chapter. Anytime you walk into a new chapter in your life, anything back there, leave that back there. That ain't for you. And
That's right.
God has placed this in front of you and removed that from you. Now, if you choose to go back there, you're gonna deal with that suffering. Because if you was happy with where you was at, then the page don't get turned. This is what I done provided for you. This is the plate I done fixed. This is the table I done provided. This is what it is. This is gonna take care of you. And you make additions to that. But when you say you turn the page, that means I'm through with that.
Yeah.
When you read the book, when you turn the page, you was through with what you done read already. And that's how life operates. When you turn the page in life, you through with that. Keep going. You
Gotcha.
keep going, and you take the lessons that you learn from there. You bring those lessons with you that can help you, and the ones that can't, you leave there. And that's how you build up your toolbox with the tools of life and able to utilize it when it's time. Because it's going to be a time for everything that you. Friendships are very important, but some of them aren't meant to carry into your next chapter.
Yes, sir. Say it
Because
again. Say it again. Say it again.
friendships are very important.
Yeah.
But some of them ain't meant to carry with you into your next chapter, and you will learn that because you'll have fallouts. You're gonna have fallouts. Believe me, fallouts in your life are necessary because you get to see who you are as an individual and how you handle situations, and you get to see who this person is you've been calling a friend.
I got you.
And when you get past that and you turn that page, you don't look back. You can forgive a person, but you continue to move because if you do that, God is going to continue to bless you because you're a child of God, and
Yes,
you
sir.
and you don't operate out of vengeful heart. Don't be vengeful. You pray for the individual, you pray for yourself, you ask for clarity, and you continue to move. And it took me almost 40 years to understand what I'm saying right here today.
Yeah.
But when I got it, I knew that this is the part of the game that I had been missing, and I had never let it go. This is the part of everything else I can let that go. When I got out of prison, I wanted to go back and sell some dope. You know why? Because I needed money, and I say this gonna happen immediately. If I can't do nothing else, I can get me some money. But I know every time I done said that, you know what happened? I wound up in the county jail, sitting down there. They bringing this cold food to me, getting ready to put me on a van, bring me up to Orlando, and I got to sit and hit. I was tired of that cycle. And
Yeah.
that's another thing that happens in life when you get to turn the page. You get tired of running the same rat race. You get tired of being in that cycle.
Right.
And not only when you find yourself tired of doing the same thing over and over and repeating yourself and going through the ups and the downs, and you really want to know what happiness is, do things for yourself. Stop pleasing other people, like I said earlier. Turn that page, and now you begin to write your own script. You
So,
begin to
so,
write your own story.
so, man, I can't say no better. I mean, I can't say no better. Seriously, that because
Yeah.
you hit all key elements. But what I was thinking was, I want to hear Jacob tell us how, because he's turned some pages, right? You
Mm-hmm.
know, he shared a little bit of his journey. But what I know about him, he was a business owner before. Like he was a young business owner. He owned a barbershop, man.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he made a decision to transition to another phase of business.
That's right.
And there were people in the barbershop world that you know he had to pass some stuff on to. Then he jumps into a new chapter and gained new people. And I'm gonna expound on it last, but I want to hear Jacob tell me about how his journey is and turn the pages and what can he tell the people that they can learn from when they moving on this journey, changing, turning these chapters and these pages. Man, what you got for him, Jake?
The hardest thing about turning that page is that page that you've been on is comfortable
Mm.
and
Wow.
familiar and
Ah.
familiar.
Ah.
It's what you used to, it's what you know. Like Cam said, when he got out of prison, he wanted to go back to what he was comfortable with, what he knew. And that's the
Yeah.
hardest thing I think about turning that page and having that pivot moment is you getting out your comfort zone for one. And two, I think as we move on and if I mastered this area already, I know what I can omit, I know what I can keep, I know what I can do and what I can't do. So I should have that set. Now I can pivot to another thing
Mm.
that I can master while still holding on to what I had before
Right.
Mm-hmm.
because I already know how to run that.
Right.
So now that gives me time to still stay uncomfortable and learn something new.
Mm-hmm.
And each time you go in and you get into something new, you know what you meet. You meet new people. But after a
Yes, sir.
while, even with that, it's some people you gotta keep, some people you gotta omit. You gotta know how
Yeah.
to trim the fat off it.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that phrase, man, because that's true. You know, my downfall on my journey is, and I've learned this. over the past few years. Me being a stand-up comedian, the part of Doc that God created as a comedian, uh, I totally blew him off, right? In the beginning. And I've been doing comedy since he was, in fact, bro was with me on my first show. Jacob was with me on my first show, right there, Miami.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
like 2005, I think it was.
somewhere there.
Somewhere in 2005. I've been doing comedy that long, Cam, right?
Mm.
But here's the deal, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad to have y'all on this podcast. Y'all really have opened up my mindset, so I know the people like wow, because when you turn in chapters of life, man, and you're on a journey, identifying again, I can't say it enough. When you're identifying, man, who you are, it's amazing the amount of feeling and the relief that you get, which Jacob told about. He always felt comfortable with his decision making because that's what he wanted to do. When I got on that stage, I'm gonna tell you something. He been knowing me most of his life, right? When I performed that night in Miami, I went there with a mission to fail. God is my witness. People was telling me for years, Doc, you oughta, you oughta, you oughta. But my traumatic past back home where I come from was so lodged into my spirit and had me so wrapped up with confusion of I can't be funny because I got struggles. I can't be funny because I came up poor. I can't be funny because ain't nothing funny. I'm trying to survive. Ain't no way I supposed to be trying to tell some jokes to some people. Ain't nothing funny, right? I had that sentiment in my emotions. I had it lodged in my mind that I'm not a comedian. There's no way that I'm supposed to be a comedian, right? So one day I called Jake. I said, look, man, ride with me to Miami. Me and him and my one of our partners, Pee Wee. I said, I'm gonna go down here and try it because I know I ain't gonna make it. But I try to write jokes and all this stuff. None of that happened for me. All the way to Miami. Then I'm trying to focus on writing jokes. He just talking. He talking all the way to Miami. I'm like, man, would you shut up? He talked all the way to Miami while I'm trying to write and trying to get my mind. He just talking. I don't know what anyway, but we laughed about it later, right? We got to Miami, and this is how I want I want the audience to listen carefully to this. When you on your journey, there's a spirit that's gonna let you know, and I'm talking about the spirit of God. I will not exclude God from these journeys. There's no way I can do that because God will let you know, yes, you on the right path. Yes, this is what I got for you. If you want it, it's here for you. Yes, you can do it because I'm gonna support you, right? I got on stage. I got down there, I ran. First of all, I ended up in some type of competition. Didn't know that. I thought we was gonna isolate ourselves. The reason why we went so far because I didn't want nobody that may even know me come and see me trying to make somebody laugh. Right? We in Miami, get on stage. First of all, it was a competition. Didn't know that. The guy, one of them guys from Seinfeld. It was a long story, but long story short, the guy I got on stage. I ended up being the first comedian out of 20 comedians. You talking about somebody who felt like I'm for the flop. I wanted to flop so we can go back home and I'd be like, I tried it and I would have never touched it again. I would have never touched that microphone again because I knew I was going to fail. Well, I was wrong. Got up there, said something, everybody started laughing. And when they started laughing, I never been a crackhead. I never been an alcoholic, but I know a lot of them. I had some of my family. When they get that feeling that they want to satisfy them, it's a hit, right? When I had that microphone in my hand and I said what I said and everybody started laughing, I had a feeling that I can't describe to the audience that I never felt prior to that moment about me. I had a feeling, man, that touched me so electric. Like, wow, when they laughed. And man, I ended up getting a standing ovation. He'll tell you he was there. But the icing of the cake to me was when we were going home. We were driving back. I was in a zone in my mind, like, I can't believe that just happened, right? He told me this, and I'll never forget this. I tell people this all the time. He told me, he said, man, I've been knowing you all my life pretty much. So he said, but man, you was funny. He said, I didn't expect you to make me laugh because I know you. And he laughed at my stuff, and he literally was around me a whole large
Right,
portion of his life.
right.
That for me was the motivation for me to keep doing what I'm doing to this day. It was his words. It was God letting me know, but it was his words that was word for affirmation for me that no matter what, this was for me. And lo and behold, here I am. I love it. I've adapted. I've understood it that this is the space I was supposed to be in. So what y'all said makes sense. It makes sense. Everything y'all said makes sense. I ran from it. So for the listeners, don't run from it. Try it. Give it a shot. Don't be afraid to step out on faith. Don't be afraid to tell people that this is what I'm going to do. Go out and just do it and watch and see. And if it didn't work out, then, like we always explain, turn your page.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
one of the biggest things I think too, Doc, is when you telling people what you plan on doing, how you plan on turning that page. A lot of them don't see your vision, and that's okay because it's your vision. They're not supposed to
Right.
see it, and they don't have to understand it. But in the end,
Right.
you know, it work out, and that's the part
Yep.
about having faith in God when it comes to turning that page. Like you got to, because sometimes it's just you and God that understand your vision.
Yes. Yes.
and even to piggyback off what Jacob just said about that vision, you're gonna know when to turn that page. You're gonna know the
Fact.
press, the pressures of life, not the pressure, not peer pressure, the pressures of life gonna get so hard on you. Everything is gonna seem like why, and we don't understand it. And people really need to be able to tap into their spiritual being and understand the spirit of discernment.
I agree with
And
that.
I'm big on that. And like you just said, also Doc, with affirmations, because we have a tendency of asking God for things and we
Mm.
don't be ready for them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you got to be real careful with that
Yes, sir.
because He gonna give you just what you ask for. But you got, and we don't be ready. So you be asking for people to be removed out your life. You be asking for a better this. You be asking for this. But it's going to require something from you. And go back to what Jake was saying about that comfortability. You have to get uncomfortable in order to get comfortable again. Ain't no way around that.
Right.
You got to be willing to understand the difference between making a sacrifice or taking a loss. And I didn't understand that at first because I'm like, well, sacrifice mean I gotta lose all this. No, it's not that you have to lose all this. When you make a sacrifice, you're sacrificing the things that's right here in front of you for some things for the unknown, things that you don't know that God is gonna bless you with. But He
Mm-hmm.
wants to see how much work you're gonna put in.
Got to trim the
When
fat
when
off that beat.
you got when you trim the fat, when you turn the page, and I can speak for me, and this for anybody that's going back to school, start a new career, get into entrepreneurship or whatever. When I turned the page and said, "Man, I'm gonna go to college," I was just with Jacob a week ago. I didn't even tell him.
Mm-hmm.
Me and him talk about everything but that, right? I didn't even
Mm-hmm.
tell him because I prayed about it, went to God. I said, "I got to do this." Now, for me, school has never been nothing hard because I catch on very easily. And I quit school because school got boring to me, right?
Mm.
And it's crazy because the work never got hard. It wasn't nothing for me to do. But in this journey that I'm on now in my life, the reason I'm going back to school is because I seen my mama turn the page in her life. At 63 years old, she went and got a degree, and I was
That's
like, wow,
that's big. That's
Wow.
good stuff.
Wow.
wow.
That's motivation.
So
That's motivation.
as we sit in this auditorium and they call my mama name, my mind was made up right then because I said, well, damn, I ain't gonna let my mama outdo me. She brought me here. You know what I'm saying? But I said that to say this. It's okay to turn the page. And until a person is okay with turning the page, they'll never know what the other page looked like. They'll never know what's down the road or in store for them as long as they stay content and stay comfortable with where they're at.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, contentment, it can work for you or it cannot work for you. It just all depends on what's in your mind. Uh, so we covered a mindset. That's the key. Having a strong mindset. If you got a strong mind, can't nothing stop you. Even when you fall into ruts and you run to brick walls, navigating your way through this journey we're talking about. Strong mind can pull you out every time. Incorporate that, man, with some sort of spiritual connection. I'm not, even though I'm a preacher, man, I'm not the one to throw religion in your face and make you feel compelled. What I will do is tell you it works. Grab hold to something higher than your mind that can never fathom spiritual wise. And if it worked for you being positive, if it worked for you loving folks, forgiving folks, if it worked for you helping people, man, in spite of, then that's the one to hold on to. If it worked for you, grab hold to it and keep it, right? And for me, it's Jesus. It's going to always be Jesus for me because I know that's what helped me. But I think if you incorporate that strong mindset, you incorporate some form of spirituality with you, and you incorporate love, no matter what it is, love, you can be unstoppable, man. You can flip them pages. You can pretty much write your own journey, man. You can write your ticket how you want to,
That's
because
right.
nothing can steal your joy, nothing can knock your block off, and can't nothing fade you to the point where it interferes with your peace. You got to have peace when you journeying through life, man.
That's right.
You got to be content with your decision making, right, Jake?
Got to.
You have to be. When I seen him flip that coin, when I dropped that quarter on the ground and seeing how comfortable he was and he didn't fret, I was like, wow. And he was a young man. Like, I really was like, did he just do that? And he did it. But I've seen him keep his foot on the gas, and I've seen the outcome every time. He never begged for nothing. And I ain't gonna put he come from a good place. But I love the fact that his journey involved him. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? The resources may be available, may not, but he stayed to what he chose to do and make it work. And Cam, it's commendable to, man. Listen, to be transparent, going to prison 2 or 3 times. I've seen you a couple times when I was working in there. Remember, you was a young kid
You
too.
actually saved my life.
I remember you told me that. Yeah,
You're
man.
the one that saved my life because I was in my mind. I felt like at this point of my life, can't nothing stop me,
Yeah.
right? And I'm ready to go to trial, and I know I'm dead wrong. But what they showing me, I don't feel like they got enough. And you was actually getting ready to leave one jail and go somewhere else, and you sat and you stopped me. You told me, "Don't make them people kill you, man."
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I,
And in that moment, that's
What's
all
that,
I
Jake?
needed.
I remember that because you told me, and you said, "Yeah, your boy said he can do that time sitting on his head." I said, "Really?" He said that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I,
You
I
know.
hey,
was,
I shook my
I
head.
don't.
I said, "Yeah, he lost."
Yeah, right, right. So,
But
so
so that was
listen.
a life saving experience, and that goes as what we're saying on this podcast right now about turning the page
Yeah.
because I was at a real dark place in my life, and
Mm-hmm.
I really wore a mask for a very long time because I didn't want to deal with myself. I didn't want to deal with the reality. I didn't want to take accountability. I didn't want to take responsibility for my actions. None of those things. And when you get there mentally, you be like what Jacob just said. You really be lost.
Yeah. Yes. So your transparency, man, going from prison, and you said what I so desire for people to understand that, we toil with our opportunities, right? We toil, we take so much for granted. We toil with tomorrow, but tomorrow ain't promised to nobody. It
Mm-mm.
really isn't. But we toy with that like we really know, right? Like I'm gonna get right. I had somebody just recently tell me the other day. I had a conversation with a young man. I'm trying to help him, and he told me, Uncle Doc, I'm gonna get it together. I'm gonna get it straight. When I said, oh, you got that book that ain't nobody else got. You got the book that tell you exactly tomorrow your date, right? So I told him, I said, let me see it. I asked him to let me see the book because
Right.
he was so certain that he gonna have a chance. No, it's not like that. I really appreciate the fact that you took your opportunity, man, and you got tired. You said it. So I know for a fact, and I can put my stamp on it. For the stuff that you used to get in trouble with, I'll say it like this: you'll never go back to prison. You might have to defend your family and stuff like that. So I'm careful with my words because we'll all take one for the team, the real team, right?
Mm-hmm.
But just foolishness, immature, adolescent selfish thinking, I can clearly see that's gone from you. And
Oh no.
people that's listening, that's living in that space, y'all are talking to some real ones today. Someone who been there, who done that. Both sides of the fence. In fact,
Yeah.
three of us. You talking to somebody who didn't have a father figure to two guys who had fathers who both sides had different influences on them. You talking to three people today who are able to tell you how to turn a page on your journey and own the moment. You know what I mean? And just and see it through to the very end. We all agree on that, seeing it through to the end. You all are listening to people who got so many different perspectives, but are able to share this with you with confidence that you can make it if you keep your mind in the right place and keep the people that's not supposed to be around you away from you, and the ones that are supposed to, you will know because they're automatic. They won't leave. Like you can't shake us. You can't shake the ones that's supposed to be on your journey. You know why? Because God already have people set aside to help you. It's
Mm-hmm.
already people written on your story that's waiting for Jacob, that's waiting for Doc, that's waiting for Cam. It's people already reserved for y'all. So when that page turned to that right page, God got people right there for you. He got the situation already worked out because you got your mind in the right place. So
That's
I just
right.
I want to motivate the people tonight, man, to gravitate to that. By these two gentlemen taking time out of their schedules, man, to come and fellowship with us on this cast tonight. And boy, I tell you, I don't know about y'all, but I had a fantastic time, man.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Oh
I,
yeah.
I enjoyed it, especially for my first time.
yeah, man. Yeah. This is his first time, ladies and gentlemen, being a podcast, but I'm sure he'll be back because he did a phenomenal job. But I want to give you all the opportunity to let the people know how they can reach you. This podcast is not based on just entertainment. That's not why we're here, man. I'm here to touch some lives for real. I'm here to people that's transparent and willing to open up an opportunity. Somebody might want to call you to help personally, Cam. Somebody might want to hear from you personally. You know what I mean? And if you have an outlet or a way that they can reach you in confidence, uh, please you can share that with them. And same thing for you, Jacob, man. You got so much that you can share with people about starting a business, keeping a business, making a decision to sell a business and start something new. I mean, it's so much that people can get from you all. So I'm gonna give you a chance to tell them, man. Cameron, you got some way that you want to open up for these young guys out here nowadays because they wilding
Oh
and,
yeah.
and they need
Oh
some
yeah.
direction. Go ahead and tell the people how they can reach you, man, and tell them about your podcast too.
Okay, so I can be reached on all platforms at Two Paths Podcast. That's TWOPATHS Podcast. Um, it's really a mental health based podcast, but it's just like right here. We gonna talk about everything, and I like to hear the stories. I like to fellowship with people. I like to share through personal experiences of what I've been through to maybe prevent someone from going through that. So on all platforms again at Two Paths Podcast, you can DM me, you can reach me. I'm definitely gonna get back to you. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that if anybody is in a space where I have visited before and you need some help or any kind of direction, then I can possibly give you that help in that direction.
Thank you. Thank you. So people, please reach out to this brother, man. We're here to help each other. And don't be afraid. Don't be worried about judgment. This is a judge-free zone. We
That's right.
understand. We understand. So Jacob, tell them how they can reach you, man, if they want to conduct some business with you or just hear from you.
Anytime you need me, I'm easily found on Facebook. My screen name is Ferguson Jacob. You can DM me. You can write on the wall. Anything, I will get back to you. And if it's just a question, I got you.
Okay.
Okay, now I want you to shed a little light on how if they want to get some work done, some epoxy or get a haircut. I know you got the barbershop and you also do that. So if you want to open up the opportunity for somebody who may want to look for some work done in their house, man, go ahead and share. How can they get in touch with you? The same way?
The same way. Anytime you hit me up on my number is public. I don't mind sharing it. I'm not hiding from nobody. I don't know. I don't get crazy calls. I don't need to turn off my phone.
Gotcha. He
That's
definitely
real.
turned the page. He definitely turned the page.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely turn the page.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you all have it, family. You all have it. My name again is Doc. Man, I'm a comedian. I'm a man who love you. I don't need to know you. I don't need to know your story, man. God knows I love you, man, and I'm here for you. You can reach me on every social media platform. You can go you can find Jermaine dot right on any platform. You can find me. If you ain't laughing, you ain't living podcast. You can find me on TikTok, wherever you want to find me. Trust me, nowadays I'm not hard to find. And like Jacob said, I ain't running from nothing. I ain't got nothing to hide. I'm here to help, to share, and hopefully one day, man, we can all tap in into a space where it's just love flow through the air.
That's
So,
real.
so again, I appreciate you all. And you can go to Taken TV, Taken TV, Taken TV, or Riverside.com. You can find me on any of that stuff, fellas. Man, I can't say it enough. I appreciate you. I've enjoyed this journey with y'all tonight, man. I feel the need for a part two because it go deeper than what we talked about, but it was deep enough for today. Love you all, man. Appreciate you, and let's tap in from time to time, man, and share the have a meeting of the minds again. Can we do that?
Send the link.
Definitely.
Just send the
I
link.
love this. Look, you heard it. Send the link.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm loving it, man. Loving it. Hey, appreciate y'all. Until the next time, man. I hope you all enjoyed the episode of another episode of If You Ain't Laughing, You Ain't Living. Until the next time, man, God bless you. We love you and peace.
Peace.